Democracy burns. The illuminate scourge lays waste to hallowed ground. Families torn apart. Flags disrespectfully soiled. Could this be the end of managed democracy? Not today.
We defeated them back in the first galactic war, then they accepted peace on democracy's terms. They gave their tech to us, we deserved it more. Than they left the galaxy, never to return. They were trapped in the void, the status unknown. And thanks to us, that fact would remain. But then through no fault of super unsung, they came back to eat our prey. It's time to get together and crush them to death and destroy whatever was left. Sway liberty, they were back. They were vicious, armed and ready to attack. Sway liberty, they were back. And it seemed like they brought their entire pack. Whoa, they were back. Whoa, they were back. Whoa, they were back. Whoa, sweet liberty.
Good morning, Liberation Fleet. Yes, indeed, I have returned to active duty broadcasting work. Today's intro was a sleeper hit of an epic banger from Sith Forge Studios, Sweet Liberty. That really gets you geared up to fight. Almost makes you wish that the Illuminate would make another play for Super Earth just so we can kick their tentacle faces in a second time. So, a brief recap of things while I have been away. We finished up that major order to repel unwarranted automaton aggression easily and handily last week, knocking out 5 out of 5 attacks like Babe Ruth was up at plate, and the pitcher was a 9-year-old choir girl.
It's snot in his nose? But he's famous.
Hey, I'm talking to you, Scott Pilgrim.
He's famous and he talked to me.
The only thing keeping me and her apart is the 2 minutes it's gonna take to kick your ass.
Can I have your autograph, please?
What's up? How's life? He seems nice. You really think you stand a chance against an A-lister, bro? Some competition you are.
I am certainly getting an awful lot of mileage out of that Lucas Lee fight in terms of memes. After that, we tracked the secret behind Illuminate cloaking tech. While their powers of spatial warping might be very impressive, wrapping their ships in little bubbles of distorted space-time, they also constantly bled low-level Hawking radiation as they moved around. Once Mercy figured out how to look for the red and blue shifted particles on the EM spectrum, they might as well have been blaring electro swing tunes and waving banners reading, "Please Pandera, please come kill us," which led to a predictable outcome.
Finally, now I can keep these pennies to myself. What the hell?
I smell pennies!
Schneider movie of any variety. Carl Urban's version of Judge Dredd was way better anyway. What I would give to have that man on my payroll. Yes, that is exactly what I meant. The point is, when I more risky shenanigans on a moment-to-moment basis, the other ministry personnel felt it rather silly for trying to issue rulings looking out for their health and safety and scaled this back. You can stim mid-dive now, Helldivers, make of that what you will. The R2 amendment saw an improvement today in its ergonomics, going from 35 to 50, which is a most lovely change. I didn't think much about the amendments screamed heavy rifle to me anyway. We also saw some improvements to the classic P2 Peacemaker, increasing its available ammunition pool. Starting magazines were increased to 5 from 4, match spare magazines increased to 8 from 6, damage has been increased to 85 from 75, and durable damage increased to 25 from 15. Really, I feel like the Peacemaker is in a decent place these days, and serves well as both the initial Helldiver sidearm and the preferred weapon of the Super Earth Police Force. Arrowhead R&D is also taking another look at armor passives. The integrated explosive passive saw an improvement with 2 additional grenades being added to its loadout, in addition to the We All Go Together Boom Boom Fun Time original effect, and unflinching has been improved with additional armor values, and markers placed on the map will now generate a radar scan every 2 seconds, improving battlefield awareness. This is actually quite a buff. There are many who claim that their situational awareness is not the best, and really that is no excuse. You have identified the weakness. Now you should be working to correct it. There are only 2 types of divers in the front lines: the aware and bags of shredded cheese. There have also been some breakthroughs in Illuminate armor technology, and the NOD claims that Illuminate harvesters will be significantly easier to bust up now, specifically using anti-tank weapons. Thank goodness. Their damage models were always so darn funky. Similarly, we have learned more about the weaponry that Illuminate Leviathans use, and our exosuits and LRVs might actually be able to survive a direct hit or 2, with their inflicted damage going to 350 from 1500. This actually is not much of an improvement. Exosuit main hull armor can take 2, maybe 3 hits, but a shot to the arm or leg is going to blow it clean off all the same. The Illuminate have further refined Leviathan weaponry to have more of a mind towards the tender, loving care in regards to infantry and Helldivers, in that they understand your threat now and they desperately want to kill you. Explosion damage and radius from turret shots has been increased to maintain lethality through area denial. Honestly, these things are just awful. Between their range, accuracy, damage, spawn rate, and insane durability, they are just too much trouble to deal with, so when I'm picking my deployments now, I check the modifiers. If I see that a Leviathan blockade is present, I simply go somewhere else. The biggest problem with these things is that, while large, slow, and fairly obvious, when you're dealing with everything else that the Illuminate can throw at you, the Leviathans will ratchet up what is already a difficult situation straight into the realms of completely unmanageable. I mean, when you've got Foldless chewing on your ears, oversteers on the ground and in the air, and flesh mobs trying to give you a great big hug, you present an easy, limit your target to Leviathans at any range. And now, they don't even need to score a direct hit. A near miss is close enough to knock you off your feet and make you easy prey for everything else. Sun Tzu once wrote to fight the enemy where they are not, and I am not going to throw fist units away by mindlessly deploying them to hot suns where enemy anti-personnel capital ships are steadily glassing the area. That just doesn't make sense to me. Not that my role as Minister of Truth allows me to do much hell diving these days. Or really any diving at all. Something about it being an unnecessary risk for me to serve on the front lines. Instead, I get paperwork. Joy. No wonder the previous minister was such a happy, fun-loving, mentally well-adjusted individual. Though that does bring me to my next topic of Ministry of Truth Affairs. Recently, I had been approached by an envoy of the 249th High Priestess of Genesis Prime. Having heard of Gunvold's successful appeal for independence, they had opted to make a similar plea. Honestly, if someone no longer wants to be part of the Federation, I am not going to make much of a move to stop them. The Ministry of Prosperity's tax code is a completely corrupt, utter mess, and we stand to gain more from mutually profitable trade deals than the outright extortion that is super tax law. Putting the screws to our constituents does little but engender ire, and economics is a closed circle anyway. If Genesis Prime is subjected to fewer taxes, they'll have more money to spend on what they need to survive and further fortify their planet from alien incursion. Considering they live smack dab in the middle of the fluffing, illuminate death frontier, they need all the help they can get. So, yes, the Ministry of Truth officially recognizes Genesis Prime as an independent faction from the Super Earth Federation, and during the meeting last night, negotiations were successful for those trade deals and mutual defense arrangements that I was talking about before. They'll keep the squids off our lawn, and the TQZ boys can sell them E7 Gen at a lovely discounted rate. So everybody wins. Taxes are such an antiquated concept anyway. I'm the fluffing Minister of Truth, not Marie Antoinette. I do like cake, though. Now, some have questioned the legality behind my being able to do this, as I have already violated the concept of separation of powers multiple times. I mean, you'd think that tax law and separation and independence would be more the Ministry of Prosperity's deal, and to that I would say, blame the previous administration. I'm a traditionalist. The prior Minister of Truth had consolidated power in the Super Earth government to such an insane degree that he practically guaranteed that all other ministries answer to truth in some way, shape, or form. He just never expected someone to use all of this collective power in such a manner. No more than he expected that illuminate overseer to splatter his brains all over the dance floor at Widow's Harbor. It's also why the Minister of Truth is doing the news. Because I like doing it, and there's no one who can stop me. And also there's the fact that Coretta Kelly is still in therapy. I don't think she stopped crying since that whole shindig with Super Earth went down. And then there's that flesh mob in the hot tub. Ugh. Now, some astute individuals have asked me what I intend on doing with all those people who were imprisoned at democracy camps. Since the Ministry of Truth policies no longer allow for prisoners of conscience, those whose violations consist of spoken or written disagreements will be unconditionally released with our most sincere apologies. As I said last week, we are not making the mistakes of the past anymore. Those who have committed more serious crimes will have a choice. Either be transferred to newer, more legitimate prison systems to serve out their sentence crafting munitions for the war front, or they can enlist as a Helldiver under the newly formed Department of Celestial Safety and join the war front under the agreement that each successfully completed mission will shave a year off of said sentences. They also get to use a flamethrower. For most, this is not a hard quiz. Make no mistake, DCS penal units will be kept under strict oversight by democracy officers, and stratagem use and deployment location require prior authorization as compared to SEAF Helldivers, who can go where they please and blow up whatever they want. The worst of the worst may qualify for the Warthog Division, named because they are crude, vile, angry men skilled at violence and with questionable mental and moral stability. They will be issued the standard anti-desertion explosive cranial implants and be sent into various hot zones. This is reserved for prisoners who are already convicted of a life sentence, whose crimes are egregious and unforgivable. The only perks of this program for them is that they are able to leave their cells for a time, and committable mission performance could lead to other comforts being extended to them during their lifelong incarceration. I won't list the crimes that one has to commit to be considered a warthog, but trust me, they deserve to be there. You really have to work at it for someone like me to consider you unforgivable. Why am I bringing all of this up? Well, the Legion has begun invading Verilia 5 again, trying to take their home planet back from Gunvold. I asked around, and the planetary government well and truly does not feel like dealing with Valerian again. Especially since the good Emperor has felt that the government has been disloyal to him by allowing Gunvold's occupation. Valerian does not like disloyalty. Valerian punishes disloyalty. Do you see the position that they are now stuck in? Gunvold has been somewhat distressed over a non-existent Seraphim response, and I do apologize for that. together, and I had to play those cards a little close to the chest. As of right about, looking at the time here, about 1/2 right now, the Legion should be dealing with a whole heaping helping of men whose mental stability varies between kinda and nope. Considering that Gunvolt has washed their hands of any responsibility for the state of the planet, the Warhogs have been let off the leash completely with no restrictions on collateral damage. Have fun with those guys, Valerian. Honestly, I could see why the previous minister enjoyed this job so much. I mean, what a fun day, right? Now, my husband was very impressed by my anticipatory foresight in this regard, but I will admit I cheated just a little. General Sirius's office is right down the hall from mine, and I can hear him muttering to himself when he's drawing up a new major order. He's one of those types who narrates what he writes, but even more reputable individuals do that. So, let's read the words. The words from General Roshka Ultimatum Sirius wants us to do next. Massive Terminid outbreaks have erupted simultaneously across multiple super-Earth cities. To clarify, that is cities on other planets owned by super-Earth, not that the bugs are present on super-Earth itself. Yeah, reading it that way, that quickened my pulse just a little too. Just take a breath, everybody, it's okay. SEAF urban garrisons on these planets are operating at significantly reduced capacity. Only skeleton forces remain, the rest having been withdrawn to aid the defense of Super-Earth. They're being overrun, badly. The Helldivers must respond immediately. Limited pursuit operations must be temporarily suspended. Repel the Terminid invasions from our cities. This next major order will last 7 whole days, concluding next Tuesday, 8:30 a.m. Super-Earth Eastern Standard Democratic Time, and has the following victory conditions. Terminids are expanding into the Corpus sector. The planets of Inari, Alta V, Karamor, Volterra, and Crucible must be held by the expiration of the major order, with Alta V and Crucible currently under attack. There are megacities present on these planets, so in addition to the usual biome and colony conditions, there will also be operations to keep the bugs out of town. Fortunately, the predator strain has chosen not to partake in this migration, and we are left dealing with garden variety bugs, so our stashes of Doritos and Mountain Dew are safe. Still, Biotitans in an urban environment. Sounds like great fun to me. Crucible is getting hit the hardest with a level 40 SDC, so it is highly advised for Helldivers to focus their efforts there, and then we'll see if we can't clean up Alta later, time permitting. As always, just a suggestion, divers. Now let's get to Hellpods and hit 'em hard.
You are still not cleared for a Helldiver deployment, Pandera. Also, there is a veritable mountain of paperwork to finish that your office requires.
Oh, you gotta be kidding. Can't you do this for me, Mercy?
I am afraid not. There are strict regulations against the use of AI to fill out government paperwork. Anything that I touch will be declared immediately invalid.
Sweet and sour fluffing Liberty, why me? This deal is getting worse all the time.